What is it?
It's a shielding lotion.
It's dry skin's biggest threat.
Gloves in a Bottle Shielding Lotion helps lock in moisture while blocking out the harmful toxins we encounter every day.
As it bonds with the outermost layer of skin cells, it's actually the dead skin cell layer, and it turns it into what works a bit like an invisible glove. It harnesses the body's mechanism for moisturizing, simply by retaining the elements that the body creates to produce moisture. A traditional moisturizing lotion will deliver moisture in an artificial sense.
What really works best for helping dry skin is your own natural oils. The key is to help keep your own natural oils in place so they can do their own healing. It forms a natural, invisible shield, and your own natural oils are left there to do their job.
I am a mom.
I've been working with children for 15 years.
I am cooking, I am cleaning, I am driving the kids everywhere, I'm taking care of our pets.
Serve meals, I'm washing bottles, I'm cleaning dishes.
And I'm constantly washing my hands, and they're constantly dry.
I wash my hands probably more than anybody you know.
When they're dry, they get so chapped, and sometimes they hurt and burn, especially around the knuckles.
That my knuckles got dried out, and they start to get red and cracked.
So my father, who's a pharmacist, recommended the shielding lotion, and I started using it, and after a few days, I noticed that my hands were more protected.
If I put gloves in a bottle on them, it absorbs in there and it feels, it feels like smoother, and it keeps the water from penetrating them.
It wasn't as dry anymore after using the shielding lotion. It actually felt softer and protected.
So they feel better, and I can bend them without any pain.
After being a landscaper for almost 20 years, I put a lot of abuse to my hands, the back of my neck, my feet, my knees. So I discovered this new product, Gloves in a Bottle. And not only does it shield the skin and moisturize it, but it protects it from any of the other harsh chemicals that I deal with on a daily basis.
One of the biggest things that irritates firefighters is not only the heat exhaustion, but the biographical and geographical irritants that are in all the dirt, all the weeds that we're digging up, and everything that we're trying to prevent in fighting fires. It's not uncommon whatsoever to just be so red and irritated by your skin and by your elbows and everything that has really just been beaten down for about 12 hours. One of our crew members had this product, Gloves in a Bottle. I really had never heard about it, but he went on to say that it was actually a skin protector, and that this product, it was like a shield, and it bound to the layers of your skin. It's not just for your hands. I did put it on a couple times over a 12-hour period, but I will say that I noticed at the end of my work shift, I was a lot less irritated. It didn't wash off.
I've been acnegenic as a teenager, so I've tried everything, I've gone through everything. I know a lot about skin products because many skin products bother my skin. When I got older, and I started to have allergic reactions and hives, and we could never really quite figure it out with an allergist. So I still to this day have some scarring, so I'm really cautious about what I put on my skin. But when I did try the product, I put it all the way up to here, and I just recently got over an allergic reaction, partially on my arms, and I didn't have any reaction. It stayed on my skin and made it feel smooth for 12 hours. It kept my cuticles from getting dry. It was nice, and I like it that's unscented because I do like to wear perfume on occasion, so it doesn't clash. So I really enjoy the product.
In my practice, I have many patients that have irritant or allergic dermatitis. This could be on their hands or any other part of their bodies. For those patients, we want to rebuild that barrier of their skin that has been compromised through their daily activities and through their occupation. Gloves in a Bottle fits perfectly into that because not only does it help to hydrate the skin, but it restores the barrier that is really the function of our skin. Our skin is supposed to breathe, take in nutrients, perspire, and also act as a barrier so chemicals, irritants, bacteria cannot penetrate and make us ill. Gloves in a Bottle isn't just for irritated skin. It really can be used by anyone, just as a lotion for their hands or body.
I've been out of the force for about 6 years now, and I'm constantly washing my hands because I'm touching people that you don't normally want to touch in your everyday life. So Gloves in a Bottle makes a huge difference. I notice that my elbows are very flaky and painful, especially at night. And I started using gloves in a bottle on my elbows. And the redness and flakiness and dry skin condition on my elbows totally went away within a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. It's really amazing. And then I started using it when I was on patrol because I'm constantly using latex gloves and antibacterial soap after touching suspects and so forth. And sometimes you don't get time to put the gloves on, but you have to have something for your hands. And Gloves in a Bottle worked really well for that. I would really recommend this product for anybody who's in any sort of rough conditions, whether you're a firefighter, a police officer, a paramedic, or just in the hospital washing your hands all the time. This stuff's real good stuff.
This waitress comes in and I see that she's putting this lotion on her hands. And I said, well, what is that? She goes, it's called Gloves in a Bottle. She goes, it's a shielding lotion. And I'd never heard of what a shielding lotion was. So I asked her. She goes, well, it keeps the pollutants out of your hands, but it keeps your hands moisturized as well. She also told me it doesn't wash off, which again was key because when you're a chef, you have to constantly wash your hands. So this was the perfect product. I put it on, went back into the kitchen, and I noticed an improvement immediately. The steam, the grease, and everything else, it protected. So I also thought, I'm like, well, if it works on your hands, maybe it could work on your face. So I put it on my face, and sure enough, the breakouts started to go away, and it felt like I was not as coated in grease when I came home, which was amazing.
I'm an artist. I've been a hairdresser for about 4 years now.
Paint gets stuck to my hands all the time and ink, and I have to wash my hands a whole bunch of times. The paint stays on for a few days.
I found that my hands have been super, super dry. They've been cracked and irritated, and I have been searching for the perfect product. I've tried countless balms and creams and moisturizing gloves. Nothing was working for me. I felt like I was just wasting my money.
I was introduced to Gloves in a Bottle.
A coworker told me about Gloves in a Bottle,
and within the first use I noticed that the paint and the ink washed off the first time and my hands were really shielded and protected.
I tried it at the beginning of my workday and I noticed immediately that my hands were super silky, way silkier than they had been with any of the other products that I've tried. My hands were looking super old. They were cracked and red and flaky and irritated. So after trying Gloves in a Bottle, they looked young again, and I really loved it.
As a professional makeup artist, I am constantly using my hands not only to help me do my job by testing shadows and foundations and products all the time, but also touching my clients' faces and interacting with them really closely. I like to have my hands being as presentable as possible. I notice that as I'm trying things throughout the day, makeup has a lot of alcohol in it, whether it's makeup remover or foundations, and there's mineral oil, and all of a sudden the moisture from my hands was just getting lifted away every time I swiped another product on there. And they were getting drier and kind of ashy and not very good looking. And then I heard about Gloves in a Bottle. I tried it, and the first thing I noticed was that it didn't interfere with the products at all that I was putting on my hands. My hands stayed nice and smooth throughout the day, which is so important. I didn't need to reapply. That in itself is a lifesaver.
What we are going to be observing here is Gloves in a Bottle's remarkable ability to protect the skin from the elements that can cause dryness or irritation. Do not try this at home. Gloves in a Bottle is not a replacement for gloves or adequate safety protection. The purpose here is only to demonstrate that the shielding property of Gloves in a Bottle is so effective that it will even hold up against acids that are capable of dissolving concrete. In this example, Katia had applied Gloves in a Bottle quite liberally to her hands before the demonstration we call the acid test. Very simply, she is holding some rocks and she is pouring hydrochloric acid onto those rocks that she is holding in her hand. Watch the rocks fizz and the acid bubble away while her hand remains unscathed. Katia used Gloves in a Bottle. There are countless industries where people come into contact with substances that cause their hands to become dry or irritated or cracked and painful. This might be due to washing your hands all the time, or working repetitively with only cardboard or paper or fabric. Or it could be due to using soaps, cleansers, cleaning products, or more harmful solvents such as oils, paints, or corrosive fluids. In these cases, gloves in a bottle should be used. People need to use gloves in a bottle. Perhaps this rock should have used gloves in a bottle.